Winter season is upon us, and we are here with a preview. Look out, Burlingame. You don't want to get hit yet again. We will bring you the goals, the celebrations, and all of the sweet moves. Sportsnight is next.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Sportsnight. I'm Joe Young.
Wait a minute. I thought you were Howie Shapiro.
Yeah, it has been rumored.
I heard.
To the entire crew, I'm Howie Shapiro.
There
I'm
it
not
is.
Howie Shapiro. I'm Joe Young saying goodnight.
Yes.
You just missed me that much.
I did.
I know.
Did. And yeah, but you missed a great game.
I did actually watch bits and pieces of it after the fact.
It was a nice finish for week 3 of the girls' hockey season. Hard to believe they've been 3 weeks into the season already, but they have 6 games under their belts. It's been back and forth all season long. They're still playing pretty well. They're a very young team. This past week started with a game against the Rogers Royals. Cardinals shut out for the second time this season against Rogers. I talked to Coach Coltis before the game on Saturday. He said, that was one that got away from us. We had the better of the play, especially through the first period, had some opportunities, couldn't bury the puck. But then had a real bad second period, and the Royals took advantage, went up 3-0. Elia Johnson made 19 saves in the loss. And then on Saturday, it was a thriller against the Bison. Cardinals come from behind, pull the keeper to get the tying goal with less than 30 seconds left in regulation. And then just 36 seconds into the extra period, Abby Ness nets her team-high 6th goal of the season. She now has 9 points on the year as well to lead the Bluebirds in both stats. Delaney Johnson, a goal and an assist, and Annabeth Kalo had the big game-tying goal at the end of regulation.
Yeah, and I saw that. It was a nice setup for her, too. I watched the goals in that game, and it was a nice setup for them to win the game. And that was a sweet win for them because, Buffalo, you were there, obviously. I was not, but Buffalo, a pretty good team.
They are. They have a couple of really, really nice players.
Yep.
But I think, and even though they controlled a lot of the action, the Bluebirds would have liked to. I think I was talking about it toward the end of the game. If they were not able to come back and win, they would have looked at that as a game that they let get away. Yeah,
and obviously that they weren't, because they felt that even that loss to Rogers was a game that they had those opportunities. So to back those kind of things, I know that would not have sat well with them.
No. Well, already 3 weeks into the season, but still a long way to go for this young Bluebird squad. They'll battle some of the best teams in the state this year. While they may take their lumps here and there, they'll surprise some teams too. And this team has a ton of potential for years to come.
We're young. We have a lot of sophomores and freshmen in the lineup. But you know what? They're really working hard. They want to learn.
Season 3 of the Coon Rapids Champlain Park Co-op could be looked at as a rebuilding year. But with the skill they have at the lower grade levels, it's more of a foundation-setting situation.
Again, the younger girls that have really stepped up, that are the sophomores this year, their passing is just incredible, and the way they move the puck on their line is really good, and they're getting a lot of goals in the net for us, which is what we need. So,
after losing a talented senior class to graduation, an influx of young talent is just what this program needed. But it's up to the veterans to lead the way.
Well, the 3 captains we have are fantastic. We have Anna Biscalo, Sarah McClellan, and Elia Johnson, all Coon Rapids kids this year, and they're doing an awesome job with that locker room. They've kept it, they've kind of kept everybody doing what they need to be doing in that locker room. They're leaders off the ice. They lead by example. They lead by their words. And as a coach, we couldn't ask for more.
The Bluebirds were division champions last year, but lost in the first round of sections. With the Northwest Suburban no longer divided, a conference title is an extreme long shot. Still, the Bluebirds plan to compete every night and make a run at the end of the year.
Our expectations are pretty high. We hopefully want to make it past the first round in sections this year because we haven't done that for a while, and just hopefully have a winning season this year.
The early part of the schedule has been up and down. They have 2 shutout victories, but they've also been shut out twice. The Bluebirds are taking it in stride, knowing that it's a long season and it's all about how they finish.
I've seen a lot of good things, but there's definitely some things we still need to work on. But I can tell we're improving in a lot of areas already.
While some may consider youth a liability, the Bluebirds see it as an asset. It may mean they face a steeper learning curve, but it also means their potential is nearly unlimited.
I think we have a lot of talent this year, and I think we can go far. We just have to work together and practice hard and play hard throughout all 3 periods.
So it should be fun to watch. I'm really excited about the way these young players have looked. A number of sophomores, even a freshman that you could talk about that has really stood out early on. Delaney Johnson, still just a junior, is quite a solid goal scorer. And Annabeth Kalo was definitely an offensive presence for them last year. Elia Johnson in nets should be solid at that, and it should be a fun team to watch. Again, you put all 13 teams back in, it's a completely different ball game when it comes to conference race. But in the section, which is what it all comes down to, right. They should be in a good position to try and make a run.
Well, they've got that leadership up top. They've got those girls that have that experience, and I think the key for them, Joe, and you know as well as anybody, is that the youth in that on that varsity team. If they can continue to contribute, they will surprise some people.
So far, so good,
yes.
But it's been a little bit up and down.
Yep.
A little bit of a learning
yep.
curve. They have some very tough competition yet to come. They're at Wayzata on Tuesday of this week, and they travel to Duluth on Saturday.
Well, the boys hockey team opens its season this week with a pair of road games against conference opponents. There are a lot of changes in the offseason, but that's just the beginning of what these Cardinals are hoping to achieve. They're on a mission to change their own mindset and at the same time, everyone else's perception of Coon Rapids hockey.
Starting what our legacy wants to be, not building off what we did last year, the year before, the year before. It's a new year, new team. Just start what we want to do to change culture.
New Cardinals head coach Aaron Frock has a vision for this program. One of his main messages from day one has been the need for a cultural shift, and that it starts with the guys on the ice.
We're good, we're growing. There's a lot of learning that needs to be done. We got to get better at passing. Our intensity's got to get better and our work ethic needs to rise. If we want to start growing that championship culture, we got to work hard first.
The Cardinals are buying in from the start. They like the energy and positivity from their new coach, and they know they have to start believing in themselves before they can reach their potential.
A lot of hard work put in so far. I feel like everyone's following the system, believing in that we actually have a decent team in front of us, that we can actually win some games this year.
The Cardinals had their best season in a long time last year, but the coach wasn't the only change in the offseason. In addition to losing an important senior class, their two all-conference players moved to Centennial. Still, the Cardinals are taking it in stride.
Our mentality is just guys have to step up. They left us, so we just kind of forgot about them and decided that we're going to have to move on with the guys we have, and some new guys are going to have to play in some different spots and step up.
The team will be challenged right away. They open the schedule with back-to-back road games, then face section runner-up Tortino Grace in the home opener.
Yeah, it's a great test early on. We know what kind of hockey we want to play. If we play our hockey, I think we can get some things done.
The Cardinals schedule, as always, will feature some of the best teams in the Metro. Coach Frock is eager for his team's debut, but he's most excited about the way he expects his team to finish.
I think it's great because the team that we're going to be in November, December is not going to be the team we're in January and February. I think we'll catch guys by surprise when we start really gaining our experience and really gain that intensity as well. It'll make a great run for February because we'll be two different teams by that point.
And I am looking to see what they can do. I really love Coach Frock's message from day one that he came in, the things he's trying to do with the high school and even the youth program at Coon Rapids. And early on, it seems the boys are buying in, and I think that's great. But this will be a challenging season for them. They're at Anoka on Tuesday. The Tornadoes already have a couple of games under their belt, and they have not been treated kindly by their two opponents. So see if the Cardinals can maybe take advantage of that. They have to travel on the road, unfortunately, to do so. And then on Thursday, they travel to Blaine, and the Bengals off a state tournament appearance and looking pretty solid through their first couple of games, including a win over Edina.
Well, you're as dialed into this program as anybody, obviously, with your son Aaron playing on the team.
I may be a little biased.
You're a little bit biased, but I think they're going to have to overcome some things. Obviously,
absolutely.
They lost probably their two best players to transfer, unfortunately, and
I don't know that there's a probably in there.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'm just trying to sugarcoat.
They're very good.
Yeah,
but here's what I think: if they have enough talent, that if they can work together and play together as a team, I think they can be successful.
It's the key to those guys who step up in those losses and overcome those. That's going to be the key.
Agreed. Well, the wrestling team started its season over the weekend, traveling down to Hastings through a snowstorm to face some of the best teams the state has to offer. It started with host Hastings. Coon Rapids, after a slow start, comes back and gets a pin at the heavyweight position to get the win over the host Hastings squad, who ranked 13 to start the season. Cardinals come up short against Forest Lake. Forest Lake, the defending section champion from Section 7 and the favorite to win the section again so far this year. They're ranked number 4. Cardinals put up a good battle, losing that one 43-31. And then another pin it to win it from the heavyweight Gavin Layton to get him over St. Francis, another Section 7 foe. And then against number 1 Shakopee, Cardinals
held their own.
They held their own.
Yep.
I mean, look at that. You got 4 guys who went against that competition and came away with 4-0 records. Kowalchuk was at state last year. Demetrius Seals at 160. And look at Zach Thomas and Gavin Layton. 4-0, 4 pins.
Nice.
That's a day right there.
That is a day. You know, and the nice thing, you look at all those teams that were in that tournament, those are all quality squads.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It really tests early on what you have. And I think, you know, for the coaching staff, that's great because it gives them an opportunity to see how guys compete against the best.
Well, the Hastings Duels is just the start of what the Cardinals are hoping will be a special team. The numbers in the wrestling room are way down to start the season. Still, they're confident in the athletes they have. They want to test themselves against the best teams around.
So if you don't surround yourself with the best competition, you're not going to see the results that you want. So you just got to push yourself.
The Cardinals wrestling program has a long and proud tradition, but to start the season, they only had half as many kids as they normally do. Quality is more important than quantity, though, and they'll prove it when it comes to what you see on the mat.
Like, our numbers are low, but the people that we are going to put out there, they're solid people. Like, everyone we put out, it's going to be a solid person. We're going to be tough.
Not only did the Cardinals return several of their top guys from last season, but a lot of the veterans worked hard in the offseason and come back stronger than ever before. The Cardinals proved over the summer they're ready to wrestle at a very high level.
There's 14 spots on the Minnesota national team. Coon Rapids had 4 of those. In addition, we had Alex Kowalchuk, who was a state entrant last year.
The Cardinals returned 2 of their 3 state entrants from last year, although junior Elijah Madimba is hampered with an injury to start the season. Kowalchuk and Madimba will lead the way, but they won't be alone. Heavyweight Gavin Layton is their only ranked wrestler to start the season, but they believe that will change.
Our middleweight classes are very stacked, I believe. I think at minimum 5 kids can go to state this year. Our heavyweight this year, he can go to state too. He's our big guy. He's finish off them duels for us. I believe in him. But I think our team can go to state this year for sure.
With their numbers down, staying healthy will be critical for this team if they hope to reach their goals. They have to stay strong both physically and mentally, and the veterans have to lead the way.
My best piece of advice to young guys is just keep showing up. I know it gets kind of taxing over time. You start to get achy, sore, starts to hurt, but you got to keep pushing through it. You keep coming in, you keep getting better. It's as simple as that.
The Cardinals are excited to see what they can achieve this season. They're also excited to have their coaches back. Head coaches Bob Adams and Adam Tronson return to lead the team, and they're looking forward to the journey ahead.
I look forward to the competition. I look forward to sitting in the kids' corners again. We've got a lot of great kids in here, and again, I love watching the kids mature over the year, how they develop into wrestlers.
So it should be interesting. So glad to have Adams and Tronson back in the room. I think the numbers problem will hopefully work itself out, but they're having to do some things that they've never done before. There's a billboard up on Highway 10. They've taken out some advertising in the program, game day programs for other sports, trying to get more kids involved. At the younger level, still pretty healthy. But you know, they need to continue to build and have the numbers they once did. But they're all very confident in the quality of kids that they have and the quality of wrestlers and what they'll be able to put onto the mat. But as important as it always is in any sport for guys to stay healthy,
Gotta stay healthy.
Really critical for this team. And they start with Elijah Madimba on the sideline, and he's a guy that they look for to score team points for him, bonus points, hopefully.
Coach Glenn did a nice job last year, but you look at the coaching staff they have. He's continuing on, but with Coach Adams and Coach Tronson there, I mean, that's a quality coaching staff that they have, and obviously they're going to get the most out of these players. But you're right, it's a little surprising to me to see the lower numbers in the wrestling program, but I mean, this is a program that's been successful year in and year out. They will continue to grow.
Well, they got a big event coming up this weekend. They're at Andover on Friday for their first Northwest Suburban Conference duel, and then they will host the Board Highland duels on Saturday at the Fieldhouse.
Well, the gymnastic team opened its season this week with a Cardinals squad that's ready to do big things. The Cardinals returned almost all of last year's lineup, and they're stronger and more prepared than ever. They put up some good scores last year, but they're out to prove that was just the beginning.
I look forward to showing other teams in our district that we're better than they may think that we are. So that's pretty exciting.
The Cardinals return all but one of their starters from last year, and their veterans return to the gym committed to taking the next step.
We have so much more motivation. We're more determined to do our best this year. I feel like we just mentally, we have progressed, like not only individually but as a team, and so I think we could really work together and use that to our advantage.
The Cardinals made solid progress last season, cracking the elusive 130 a couple of times, but they struggled a bit with consistency, and that's something they hope to improve on this time around.
Have a really strong senior class coming back and kids who have worked hard in the off season, so I hope that we'll be a strong team and we can hit, like I said, about 130 or 135 is our ultimate goal this year.
It's a goal this group should be able to achieve. In addition to their solid returning core, the Cardinals team is growing in numbers, and the depth just adds to what the team could accomplish.
I think our team this year has improved so much from last year, and we have a lot of new girls this year, which is a lot of brand new potential that I think is going to help us a lot this year.
The influx of young athletes means the Cardinals will have to work to get everyone up to speed. At the same time, they need to continue to polish their skills, especially in the weaker areas.
Our greatest challenge is going to be to get the new kids probably in a meet and in a competition. Our next greatest challenge is going to be the uneven bars to try to get our scores up, to try to be competitive. We really struggle on that event, so we're going to have to work extra hard to get to the level on bars where we need to be.
The Cardinals believe most of the work they need to do is between their ears. They all talked about how much they've worked on the mental side of the sport and how that will be the key to unlocking their full potential.
Probably getting over mental blocks. Like, our team has a lot of mental blocks and we're scared to do skills, but I think we'll get over them eventually.
For this outstanding senior class, this year will be about finishing as strong as possible. At the same time, they're anxious to see their newer and younger teammates grow and prepare to take over the program.
I'm looking forward to just seeing how much potential we have and just seeing how much everybody improves by the end of the season.
Yeah, into the 130s last year, and they a couple of times, and they bring almost everybody back. So a ton of potential. They want to hit the 135. Who knows? 140? That's a big jump, but this team, if anybody's going to do it, maybe this team.
Yeah, not only the potential, but I think expectations. When you bring almost everybody back off a team that did well last year, and you're looking to improve upon that, I think that the expectations are high for the squad as well.
Absolutely, and they get their first chance to find out on Tuesday. They travel to take on Elk River, and then the Luau Invite on Saturday the 14th, as always, hosted by Champlin Park. Before we move on, Howie, every time we do this, there is a ton of great sound bites that we get from both kids and coaches that ends up hitting the floor. A lot of coaches, Diane Habel included, dislike doing the interviews, but every once in a while you come across a gem that really just has to be shared. And the beauty of this piece is that it's a great sound bite talking about the changes that are coming to the entire athletic culture at the high school. It talks about the changes in that, but it also ends with a fantastic bit of a blooper, even though it's a great soundbite.
I'm looking forward to just coaching my senior class. I've had these kids since they were in 7th grade. I've been their coach on and off for like the last 6 years, so just coaching them through and seeing them graduate is going to be amazing, and just looking forward to having a positive team and to really enforcing the one team concept like we learned when I did weight training this summer with the football coaches. the football coaches at Coon Rapids High School made me a better coach by doing the weight training program. So my hope is to take some of the things that I learned during the weight training program and bring it to this team, and I think I've already done that.
So, I mean, the mic falling was unfortunate, but a great thing for them to talk, or for her to talk about.
Absolutely.
The wondrous things that the weight training program is doing, not only for all the athletes, but for the coaches who are getting involved in and really taking that message and spreading it around.
Yeah, I've heard numerous coaches talk about the weight training program and how that's been better for their programs and the athletes as well. We've seen videos that JT Taylor has posted of the kids in there working hard, and the numbers were phenomenal.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, there's a couple of teams we weren't able to get to, but we'll have previews for you hopefully next week. The swimming and diving team starts its season with the Northwest Suburban Conference Relays on Saturday, and then they are at Elk River next Thursday. Well, the Nordic ski team, Coach Denny Green, one of the first ones to get back to me, said, hey, we're up at Bunker at 4 o'clock, come meet us. And I said, I want to put you off a little bit, hoping for snow. We got some snow.
You got a little bit.
We're hoping to catch up with them this week. Their first scheduled event is an age group skate race at Elm Creek on Wednesday. They have another one, an age group classic race scheduled for Highland next Wednesday. Alpine ski team will start at Wild Mountain on the 17th, and that's the only one before the end of the year. Race number 2 for them is at Trollhagen on January the 9th. Boys basketball team opens its season with a 4-game homestand, and it starts with 2 very tough section opponents. This is a Cardinals program that has had some success the past few seasons, and with a veteran core coming back, they're confident they can take the next step.
We've made it to the section semifinals 3 straight years. So for us, this group is hungry to take that next step, to knock that wall down.
These Cardinals come into the season ready to fly. They have a great group back, and they've put a lot of work in the offseason to take their game to the next level.
I already think we're there. I just think we can go beyond that. We have the athleticism, we have the shooting, we have the determination to get there. I just feel we need to make it there healthy, strong, and better than we are now.
They know the season will be a grind. They have a tough schedule that will challenge them night in and night out. But they're fired up to take the game to their opponents every time they touch the court.
We got to start aggressive. Just be aggressive, especially on the defensive end, ball pressure all the time. Just create havoc on defense. That'll lead to offensive points.
The Cardinals have posted double-digit wins in each of their last 3 seasons, but lost in the section semifinals all 3 years. To get over the hump, they focused on becoming better on the perimeter to open more things up on the offensive end.
If we can make teams stretch, we play a lot of teams at times that want to hunker in on us. If we can make teams stretch out and play us, we think our athleticism is going to create a lot of opportunities for us in that regard.
During their recent stretch of success, the Cardinals have had to rebuild each year. But this season, they returned 4 of their top 5 scorers and a lot of other guys that played big minutes. They're hungry for more, and they're focused on being prepared both physically and mentally.
I just like the energy that that these guys bring to the court, and I just like the brotherhood. But one thing we probably need to improve on is probably like the communication, and also when stuff is not going our way, we need everybody to have the same energy they'll always have when we're winning.
The Cardinals start with 4 straight on their home floor, but they'll be tested right out of the gates. They'll face defending section champion Cambridge Isani in Game 1, and next week, state 3rd place finisher Park Center. Still, the Cardinals are eager to get into competition and see what they can do.
If we defensively could stay where we've been, but improve offensively, we think that we could do a lot of awesome things this year.
Pretty excited.
Very excited
about what this team might be capable of. They were fun to watch last year. 3 years ago when they finally kind of broke through, they had their first double-digit win year. They had the big win over Anoka on the home court in the quarterfinals. Of course, the Sam Carver buzzer beater from 3. But now that expectation has gotten there. And each year, the following year, they had to rebuild. They only had Winston back.
Right.
The following year, they only had, just last year, they only really had Marshall back, who had played a lot of varsity minutes the year before. This year, they've got a ton of guys back,
really
and they
do.
should be fun to watch.
Some of the things I took out of that is, you talk, when Jackson spoke, he said the key is staying healthy, and I think that really is the key for this team, because I think they've got the athletes to do this, and I think they can go a long way. And, you listen to Coach Agoric, and I think continue to play strong defense. But, again, they have to step it up on offense. They've got to find some shooters, and I think they have them. And I think that's going to be the key for them this season.
That is a big key. If they can open up the perimeter game, they are going to become a very dangerous squad.
Exciting.
They open up with Cambridge Isani coming to the Fieldhouse on Tuesday. And Howie,
we'll be there.
They host Forest Lake on Friday. Girls basketball team already started its season also against the Blue Jackets. We traveled to that one right at the beginning of last week's snowstorm to see the Cardinals lose to the Blue Jackets 64-43. Sydney Kerr, a nice start to her season, 14 points. Nicole Post had 10, and Macy Holland added 9. But that's a Blue Jackets team that
pretty good.
Should be one of the top teams in the section this year.
Yeah, it took me about 4 hours to get home. Well, the Cardinals' journey continues on Thursday when they host Elk River for their home opener. This is really a young team, but they have a fair amount of experience, and they're eager to show how much they've improved. It's still very early, but everyone is excited about what they're seeing to start the season.
I like how we're progressing quickly, and everybody is staying engaged.
New coach Tom Wico takes over a young Cardinals program, but they have some talent, some experience, but most importantly, they have the inner drive to move forward.
A lot of work's been put in on the off season, during tryouts, during these practices. Constant running, a lot of conditioning. We're gonna be, again, a threat. That's just, all teams are gonna be surprised at what we've come up with this through the off season.
The Cardinals know coming off a season with just 3 wins, they will be the underdogs nearly every night. But they're committed to changing everyone's perception of Coon Rapids girls basketball.
Because we've had a reputation of maybe not being super competitive or super great. But this year, I think we just gotta work on fixing our attitudes and work on working super hard to tell these people that we're not what they think we are.
The Cardinals only have 1 senior on the roster, but a very talented group of juniors. Despite their youth, they have a fair amount of experience, and they've come in faster, stronger, and smarter than they were last spring.
Even though we're doing different things, I think their on-court awareness of what they're doing has increased, and so I'm looking to take it even a little further.
The Cardinals want to play an up-tempo game this season. They want everyone to be able to handle the ball, shoot from the perimeter, or play in the post, depending on what the defense is giving them. And they know the lessons they learned this year will only make them stronger in the future.
Getting to know everybody and how they play, because that's going to come in handy next year as well when we get back on the court, and just know how each other play is going to be better for us in the long run.
One of their main challenges this season will be persevering through the tough times and staying mentally strong. They've already shown their bonds and that they're working together to meet their goals.
And this year we're all getting there, we're all pushing each other, and we're all getting each other to know we want to make each other better. We want to push each other, and Wico's helping a lot with that too.
The Cardinals truly believe the team they put on the court will take opponents by surprise. They're going to show their strength and take advantage of mismatches the other teams won't be ready for. And by doing so, they'll take this program to the next level.
I think we're very determined, and we all have one goal, and that's to win games and just to, I guess, just put in our 100%.
It will take 100% if they are to achieve the goals they have set forth for themselves. They host Elk River on Thursday. They're at Rogers next Wednesday. We got to see them, obviously, at Cambridge. Very young, but definitely there's still, I mean, when you talk about how much talent they bring in and that the quality of that junior class that has already gained a fair amount of experience, and this is just, this is taking a big step. So that hopefully they can really finish it next year.
They have some nice pieces, and I think it's just about consistency for them and being able to put all of it together, both on the offensive and defensive ends.
For a full 2 halves.
That's what I'm saying. The consistency.
That is important. I think that goes across the board for all sports, but cliches become cliches because they're true. There is a look at CTN coverage coming up. Boys basketball season opener against Cambridge Isani on Tuesday live at 7. And then the girls basketball home opener against Elk River on Thursday. We'll have girls hockey for you on Tuesday of next week against Centennial. But that is going to do it for this edition of Sports Night. I want to thank everybody out there for joining us and continuing to support everything we do here at CTN. For the entire crew, including Howie Shapiro, I'm Joe Young, saying goodnight.